Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, your reliable source for insights into the evolving landscape of currency revaluation. Today's update is a significant one and it's drawing global attention. A major announcement by Frank has just set off a wave of discussion throughout the financial world. His latest remarks on the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong are being described by many as the clearest indication yet that we are entering the final stretch of the long-anticipated revaluation process. If you've been observing, speculating, or even second-guessing your position, now is the time to pay close attention. According to Frank, discussions around the revaluation are no longer speculative. He made it clear that both the Central Bank of Iraq and U.S. financial representatives are no longer asking if a revaluation will happen, but how and when. This change in language is significant. The tone has shifted from hesitant optimism to structured planning. Frank emphasized that there is now alignment between Iraq, the U.S. Treasury, the International Monetary Fund, and even the Forex infrastructure. This level of coordination hasn't been seen in years. It's not just a hint, it's a call to get prepared.
I also addressed Vietnam. Just like Iraq, Vietnam's monetary system has faced pressure and undervaluation for a long time, despite its strengthening economic fundamentals. He indicated that the Vietnamese dong is progressing through key reforms and that both currencies, IQD and VND, may be preparing for simultaneous reintroduction onto the international stage. This could signal a coordinated reset involving more than just one region. The global implications of such a move would be swift and significant. Breaking it down further, Frank stated that Iraq has now reached the milestone necessary for Article 8 status with the IMF, signifying that its currency is considered internationally tradable. On Vietnam's side, their central bank has reportedly met several benchmarks in line with IMF and World Bank standards. According to Frank, these developments show both countries are almost ready to activate new exchange rates, whether it's a matter of days or weeks. The momentum is building. One of the standout details from Frank's update was his emphasis on the sudden, frequent media appearances by Iraq's central bank governor. Allah has reportedly spoken multiple times within the same day, something rarely seen from such high-ranking officials unless major developments are underway. These statements aren't for show, they're intended to signal readiness. Frank reiterated that these actions aren't political gestures. They're designed to inform investors, global institutions, and the people of Iraq that transformation is happening right now. He also touched on the reevaluation of the Deletion of Zeros project, which is a central part of how the new exchange rate would be implemented. That reform is more than just a technical move. It's a structural overhaul meant to position Iraq's currency for long-term strength and recognition. When combined with digital finance reforms and international compliance protocols, this initiative shows the country's intention to integrate fully into the global economy. In tandem, Frank highlighted that Forex platforms are now beginning to make space for the IQD and VND in their systems. While this might seem minor to the average viewer, within the financial infrastructure world, this is a major step. Forex systems do not shift for speculation. They adjust only when official institutions and frameworks signal upcoming changes. The inclusion process involves legal reviews, platform integrations, and interbank protocols. According to Frank, those steps are already underway. This is no longer a conversation about distant possibilities. The preparations being made behind the scenes are real, tangible, and structured. The Forex world isn't just watching, it's actively adjusting. That's a serious indication that a currency reset isn't just likely, it's imminent. Frank also expanded on Iraq's internal progress. The central bank has reportedly undergone a major internal reshuffle. Officials resistant to reform have been replaced with individuals who align with the reformist vision shared by the IMF and U.S. Treasury. More importantly, Prime Minister Soudani has personally approved these changes, making it clear that Iraq's government is now unified in its approach to financial modernization. That kind of high-level cooperation was missing in previous years. Now it appears the political will and technical capability have finally met. Frank also spoke about the psychological side of this transformation. When the head of Iraq's central bank repeats the same message several times in a single day, it's not accidental. It's deliberate communication to markets and institutions. According to Frank, the repetition of phrases like, "we are ready," is no longer about instilling hope. It's a direct message of operational readiness. When such statements are echoed across national broadcasts, financial institutions, and diplomatic briefings, it means the environment for activation is practically in place. Returning to the significance of Article 8, Frank explained that this designation signals Iraq's full compliance with currency convertibility and transparency standards. Once achieved, it allows international investors to trust the dinar stability. Without Article 8 status, Iraq would remain economically isolated. But now, with this shift, global financial institutions such as the IMF and the United Nations have reportedly altered their posture, moving from cautious observers to active supporters of Iraq's monetary realignment. And Vietnam is not far behind. While the country's officials have been quieter in their messaging, Frank indicated this silence is calculated. He believes Vietnam's monetary authorities are working in tandem with Iraq's, positioning the dong for a coordinated launch. Vietnam's motivations are clear. A revaluation could significantly boost their global economic standing, improve trade negotiations, and attract new foreign investment. If Iraq and Vietnam were valued together, the shockwaves across currency markets would be immediate and powerful. Frank then addressed one of the most commonly asked questions: when will this happen? While no one can provide a specific date or hour, he urged everyone to focus on the visible signs. We're seeing national banks align, Forex platforms reposition, legal frameworks evolve, and public officials repeating clear, confident messaging. These aren't rumors, they're observable developments, and each one brings us closer to activation. He compared the situation to a rocket launch. All systems are tested, aligned, and fueled. What remains is the countdown, and from what his sources are saying, that countdown has already begun. Frank noted that when you see repeated confirmations from different sectors, central banks, Forex infrastructure, legal institutions, and international economic organizations, it means the process is not only real, but nearly ready for execution. In a particularly revealing moment, Frank mentioned that private financial briefings are occurring behind closed doors. These meetings, while not public, are being used to update insiders on potential transition timelines. Although the public doesn't have access to the specifics, the existence of such meetings alone indicates the presence of finalized plans and multilateral agreement. He shared that these include protocols linking both IQD and VND to synchronize global compliance initiatives, a level of coordination that's difficult to reverse. When that kind of foundation is built, what follows is execution, not hesitation. So what should investors be doing right now? Frank advised staying calm and focused. Don't fall for unverified dates or panic-driven speculation. Instead, start making practical preparations. If you hold IQD or VND, it's time to review your exchange strategy, look into relevant regulations in your country, understand which banks or facilities may be involved in the exchange process. This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about being ready when change comes. Frank reminded viewers that this revaluation is about more than wealth. It's about justice for nations that have spent decades repairing broken systems, fighting corruption, and demanding recognition. Iraq and Vietnam have put in the work, and now they're about to be rewarded. For holders of these currencies, that reward could translate into real financial transformation, but only if they are ready to respond wisely and promptly. He also had a message for skeptics. For those still dismissing this as hype, he suggested taking a step back and evaluating the data. Look at the IMF's direct involvement. Look at the Central Bank of Iraq's consistent messaging. Look at the Forex systems adjusting. Look at the Deletion of Zeros project gaining renewed momentum. This isn't speculation. It's structural, public, and verifiable progress. According to Frank, we are seeing developments in 2025 that simply did not exist over the past decade. The difference is not just in the noise, it's in the substance. He concluded by reminding everyone that when leaders of both Iraq and Vietnam say, "We are ready," that's not an aspiration. It's a final signal. The window is now. The direction is clear. And the world is beginning to respond. This isn't a hopeful forecast. It's the beginning of something real. So, where do we stand right now? According to Frank, we are at the most promising point in this journey. The IQD and VND are advancing toward international legitimacy. Article 8 compliance is being acknowledged. Forex systems are being updated. Global organizations are showing open support. Central bank governors are no longer speaking hypothetically, they are speaking operationally. And perhaps most importantly, a rising tide of informed investors is ready to act. This moment isn't just about financial news, it's about global economic correction. If Frank is right, and all signs suggest he is, we are now deep into the final phase before official revaluation. Whether that moment arrives in days or weeks, one thing is certain: the wheels are in motion. Thank you for staying with us on Iraqi Dinar News. If this report helped you gain a clearer understanding of where things stand, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss future updates. When the revaluation happens, those who are informed will be the first to benefit. Until next time, stay sharp, stay focused, and remember, you're not just watching history unfold, but part of it.